Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jaffrey. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 7th of June. 4 terrorists killed in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Afghan forces will retake all Taliban-controlled areas, says Defence Minister. And 2 killed, several injured as storm hits western Nepal. And now for all the details. Security forces gunned down 4 terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group in an encounter in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. Meanwhile, in another incident, 2 policemen were injured after terrorists hurled a grenade at a police station in Sopore town of the province.
4 terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group were neutralized in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. The encounter broke out on Thursday night in a village in Lasipura area in Pulwama after security forces launched operations to flush out the terrorists. Out of the 4 slain terrorists, 2 were identified as special police officers who had recently deserted and become members of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Jammu and Kashmir police said in a statement. Incriminating material including arms and ammunition was also recovered from the site of the encounter. Meanwhile, in another incident, 2 policemen sustained injuries after terrorists hurled a grenade at a police station in Sopore town in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday afternoon. Security forces had cordoned off the area and search operations were underway till the last reports came in.
Officials in India's southern Kerala province heaved a sigh of relief after 7 people suspected of Nipah virus tested negative on Thursday. The 7 were hospitalized after coming into direct contact with a 23-year-old student who was tested positive for the virus.
7 people suspected of Nipah virus tested negative in the test results, said officials on Thursday in India's southern Kerala province. The 7 were earlier hospitalized after having come into direct contact with a 23-year-old student who tested positive for the deadly virus on Tuesday.
അവസാനത്തെ ബാക്കിയായിട്ടുള്ള ടെസ്റ്റിൻ്റെ റിസൾട്ട് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. 8ാമത്തെ പേഷ്യൻറ്റിൻ്റെയും റിസൾട്ട് നെഗറ്റീവാണ്. സോ നാളെ വരെ ഫസ്റ്റ് പേഷ്യൻറ്റ് പോസിറ്റീവ് വന്നിട്ട് ശേഷമേ അണ്ടർ ഒബ്സർവേഷൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ 7 പേഷ്യൻറ്റിൻ്റെ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് negative ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
The deadly brain-damaging Nipah virus is transmitted to humans through direct contact with infected bats, pigs or other people. There is no vaccine for the virus, which can cause encephalitis or inflammation of the brain, according to the World Health Organization. The virus had last year claimed 17 lives in Kerala.
India on Friday released 6 Pakistani prisoners, including a child, at the Attari-Wagah border in northern Punjab province. This came just a month after India released 13 Pakistani prisoners as a goodwill gesture after Pakistan freed 360 Indian prisoners in 4 batches in April.
India on Friday released 6 Pakistani prisoners, including a child, at the Attari-Wagah border in northern Punjab province. This comes just a month after India released 13 Pakistani prisoners as a goodwill gesture after Pakistan freed 360 Indian prisoners in 4 batches in April. The Pakistani nationals thanked the Indian government and expressed their happiness on being released.
आया है, मेरा पासपोर्ट जो है ना गुम गया है, हम जाने नहीं सका, बस फिर हम उसी वक्त से पड़ा है बस।
कितने साल से काटते जा रहे हैं?
8 साल होने वाला है, कुछ महीना कम, 4-5 महीना कम है, 7.5 साल हो गया।
आज घर जाओ कैसा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा लगता है. ये लोग अच्छे किए हम लोग का साथ बहुत.
Tensions have remained high between the arch rivals since February when a Pakistan-based terror group claimed a deadly suicide bombing in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Due to the rocky relations between the two sides, prisoners who have completed their jail terms often languish in each other's jail for months or sometimes years.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's Defence Minister Asadullah Khalid has said that the forces in the country have stepped up their operations against the Taliban and assured that the fallen areas under the group will be retaken. This came on the same day when the security forces managed to rescue at least 84 people from a Taliban prison in a night raid.
Afghanistan's acting Defence Minister Asadullah Khalid has said that those parts of the country which have fallen to the Taliban will be retaken by Afghan forces in the near future as they have stepped up their operations against the militants. Khalid, who visited southern Zabul province earlier this week, added that Taliban did not have any achievement in their spring offensive. During the visit, Khalid also assured Zabul residents that the Afghan forces have the ability to maintain and defend their outposts.
هیڅ ځای هم سقوط نه کوي او د الفتح له عملیاتو سره له شروع سره حد اقل د دوی د درو ولایتو پلان و چې باید سقوط شي په هغه کې زابل نه و.
The remarks by the defense minister came on the same day when at least 84 people were rescued from a Taliban prison in a night raid in northern Faryab province. Afghan Defense Ministry confirmed on Thursday. The night raid was conducted by Afghan commandos with support of Resolute Support Forces in Kaisar district, where the Taliban prison was destroyed, killing 3 Taliban fighters.
US Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad met NATO Secretary General at NATO headquarters earlier this week. The ambassador briefed all NATO allies and Resolute Support Mission operational partners on his latest efforts in support for peace in Afghanistan.
The US Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation, Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad, has said that the United States and NATO will make a shared decision on remaining in Afghanistan or leaving the country. Khalilzad took to Twitter and said that he briefed the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on Afghan peace process and thanked them for the great sacrifices made and their ongoing commitment. The envoy said that he assured NATO and its allies continued full coordination. His remarks comes as the peace talks between the US negotiators and Taliban have entered its 7th round with no consensus reached. The Taliban has repeatedly said foreign troops withdrawal is a precondition for peace in the war-ravaged country. The group held talks with Afghan politicians in Moscow last month and said reaching a ceasefire is impossible unless foreign forces leave Afghanistan.
In news from Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan Navy has commissioned a naval vessel acquired from the United States in a bid to increase its operational capability. The ceremony held at the Colombo harbour on Thursday was also attended by Sri Lankan President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Maithripala Sirisena.
Sri Lankan authorities held a ceremony on Thursday to inaugurate a naval vessel donated by the United States. The military ship, which is meant to become the biggest of the Navy's fleet according to local media, arrived in Sri Lanka in May and underwent refurbishment works before being officially launched. Sri Lanka's President Maithripala Sirisena attended the event, which included a traditional dance performance by the official Navy dance group. The ceremony comes amid deteriorating relations between the United States and China, which have worsened since US President Donald Trump accused Beijing of reneging on commitments to change its ways of doing business with the rest of the world. Since then, the two sides have acted against each other's companies and exchanged harsh words on the diplomatic front. In recent years, China has financed a series of infrastructure projects and sought closer military ties with Sri Lanka, especially its navy.
Moving on to news from Nepal. At least 2 people were killed and several injured as a storm hit parts of western Nepal on Thursday evening. Strong winds followed by heavy rainfall affected normal life in Kailali and Kanchanpur districts of Nepal's far western development region.
At least 2 people were killed and several injured as the storm hit western Nepal on Thursday evening. An official confirmed that casualties took place in Kailali district of Nepal's far western development region. Strong winds followed by the heavy rainfall affected normal life, forcing people to move to safer locations. Trees were uprooted, electricity poles were damaged, roads were inundated and power supply was disrupted in the storm. At least 23 people were also injured in Kanchanpur district. They were shifted to local hospital for treatment.
तपाईँ कहाँ हुनुहुन्थ्यो त्यतिखेर?
म भाइ त्यो एक्कासी हावारी आयो बाहिर मेरो सामान थियो सामान सबै यता भित्र फाले हेर्नु मत्रा नुन फालेको छु सामान फाले भित्र फाले अनि सट्ट झारेर तल भित्र बसेको भाइ.
Following the storm in western Nepal, Nepali capital Kathmandu on Friday morning witnessed gust of wind followed by heavy rainfall. No damage was however reported.
A 3-day mango festival in Bhopal, city of India's central Madhya Pradesh province, attracted scores of food lovers who relished different varieties of the fruit on the first day of the event on Thursday. India, being the largest producer of mangoes in the world, produces mangoes worth millions annually.
Mango lovers in India's central Madhya Pradesh province on Thursday thronged the mango festival to buy and relish popular varieties of the fruit. Customers and visitors at the event were seen posing for photos with varieties of mangoes at different stalls. With an extraordinary size, a rare variety of the fruit called Noorjahan remained the highlight of the festival, which attracted crowds to its stall.
खासियत केवल कट्टीवाला जिले मतलब अलियाजपुर जिले में कट्टीवाला गांव में ही इसका प्रोडक्शन होता है और कहीं नहीं होता है. वहीं का क्लाइमेट इसको सूट होता है और कहीं पे भी नहीं होगा. और ये अभी कच्चा आम है, इसको पकने में कम से कम 15 दिन हो लगेंगे और ये बहुत मीठा आम है. अभी इसको कच्चा भी खाते तो भी बहुत इसका स्वीटनेस आता है, पकने के बाद वो ज़्यादा आता है. और ये अपने करीब 1 से 5 किलो तक का इसकी जो वज़न होता है. ये अभी करीब 1 किलो का है, 1-1.5 किलो का. इस
आम महोत्सव एक हमारे आदिवासी किसान भाइयों के लिए मौका है, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि जो आम वो 30-40 रुपए 35 रुपए प्रति किलो के हिसाब से अपने फार्म गेट प्राइस पे बिचौलियों को या बड़े व्यापारियों को बेच दिया करते थे, वही वो यहाँ आकर के 80 से 100 रुपए के हिसाब से प्रति किलो के हिसाब से वो बेच रहे हैं. यानी कि अब उनकी आय करीब दुगनी हो रही है.
Indian mangoes, which account for 60% of the world's production, are in great demand, but exporters are yet to tap the global market potential. India, being the largest producer of mangoes in the world, produces mangoes worth millions annually.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. 4 terrorists killed in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Afghan forces will retake all Taliban-controlled areas, says Defence Minister. And 2 killed, several injured as storm hits western Nepal. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.